Hello, hello, hello. We're back for some more 1v1 at Barcraft Seattle. This time we're going to have a Slacker again, the Red Terran, playing against the Green Zerg, Ohio. He's a gold player. And I have a special treat for you guys because next to me I have none other than
Wilson.
Wilson, the Platinum Protoss. The Platinum Protoss, who went 9-0 today, almost getting that coveted 10-game win streak achievement before unfortunately falling to the power of Terran. Those dirty guys. The Terran Banshee. So, we haven't seen Ohio played yet. Yeah? We've played a couple games at Barcraft before, but apparently neither of us have seen it happen.
I think I might have played it myself, but there's been so many games played.
There have been quite a few fun games played out here. And we're going to see the Refinery first play once again, coming from Slacker.
Who can hear us when we talk? So.
But that's okay, because he's...
We need to have Slacker Chao.
On the right side, we have Ohio going for the 14 gas, probably going to be followed up by a 14 pool. Very standard play, gets your gas early so you can get that metabolic boost very quickly. And really it's just a good solid build to handle pretty much everything that gets thrown at you. Shakuras, seen a couple 2 racks, but kind of the distance is long enough that I would feel pretty comfortable with kind of going a pool expand or an expand pool. But once again, especially when you never played another person, the other person before, kind of any build is reasonable to expect. So 14 pool just.
The refinery, though, I think you're pretty safe to go the expand.
That's true. Very safe to go. That's right. But if he hadn't scanned it yet, scouted the refinery first, then, you know, a perfectly reasonable play.
Holy shit, I have anti-air units.
So I think he should.
Yeah, no, those
be expanding at any point, no? Yes.
He's looking to expand soon, I would guess. Not a lot of money. At 18 food. Actually, he's going to throw down the evolution chamber. This isn't a play that we see too often, but I think he's just going to go melee upgrades earlier. You really don't need an evolution chamber this early for any kind of detection.
Maybe the 1-1 lings.
The 1-1 lings are pretty good. So we're going to see. He's not going to have any gas for that layer soon, but if he wants to get that melee. But we'll kind of see. He's at 100 gas, so now we're going to see. Gas is one of those indicators kind of about what your strategy is. So as he's building it up, we're going to see if he's going to get that layer first, or those upgrades first, because really there's not a lot more else you can do with that gas. And if you don't use that gas, it's just kind of wasted money because you could have been mining some more minerals instead. That's true. A lot of times what you'll see out of a 14 pool, 14 gas, 14 pool, is that you'll take guys off of gas as soon as you start the metabolic boost, so you can start getting your expansion pretty quickly. It looks like he actually wants to do some kind of one-base play. Getting the roach horn, he's still going to have more gas than he really needs. And if he doesn't expand soon, pretty much we're going to guarantee to see a bust coming along. So, he's doing the 1-1-1, but before the starport, he gets his the tech lab. So he's going to do his blue flame build. Very fond of this blue flame build. I'm going to get the starport to follow it up so that he can get a medevac to drop. Kind of like, you poke in the front. If you don't see an easy way in, that starport's going to let you get into the back door.
I would think that this could maybe end it for the Zerg here. Zerg hasn't expanded. We're at 6.5 minutes with no Zerg expansion.
That's true. And he is not building any drones. Getting a bunch of roaches. Oh, and there's expansion. Got a big force out, then taking the expand. Little bit strange, kind of like an attack and expand kind of deal. he's not going to have Zerg missile attacks up for a while. But you know what? These roaches are going to help a bunch against these Hellions. If he puts up enough pressure, actually, he might be able to kind of do a lot of damage, because what does he have at the front with this kind of build? Just a bunch of Marines. And that, you know, Blue Flame Hellion. That's right, Thomas is going to be slow to expand because of the nature of this build. He's going to be ready to drop, but he's not going to have time to drop when he's got a giant force like this right in his face. And this build is going to hurt a bunch. He wants to target all those Zerglings going down. He is going to push the front. Front is down. These guys are going to do a ton of damage. Roach is really good against Marines in the early game. That medevac kind of throwing a wrench in the equations for a little bit, but he is going to push in. There's a tank out. He needs to micro that like crazy if he wants to hold this push. The SCVs are coming out. He is going to hold this. Needs this siege tank to be attacking again, taking advantage of that really long range. Tanks with a range of 7, not in siege mode, which is way more than the means for the Roach. He's going to knock that away, and let's take a look at the worker count. 19 to 17. It is close still. Holding... That is a pretty low work count. He did devote a lot into that attack. I would have loved to see a round of drones after putting that hatchery up and attacking, because unless you're planning on using those roaches to reinforce your attack, which they take forever to do, then really those drones would have been a much better way to go. Command center going up.
Zerg Ohio does have his expansion up already. We got Sacker trying to get his up, so I do think that Ohio is up in this match. I thought that
Ohio, I think he'll be in good shape really soon if he remembers to inject and builds a round of drones, because at 20 to 22, the economy is actually still slightly in favor of the Terran, I would say. So
see what he follows it up with.
that's right. So there's that round of drones that will put him in a comfortable spot. Slacker going for the Banshee without cloak. Gonna try and get around to the back and do some damage. If there's not a lot of queens around. That's true, but he hasn't noticed until just now. How many kills does that Banshee have? 5 kills on a non-cloaking Banshee. Finally the Queen coming out to push that away. Bringing up the other Queen to defend it. That's true. Cloaking is starting, so he should start that. We don't see any yet. Bunch of Zerglings coming out. A lot of attacking units for a position where you're kind of feeling like the Terran probably doesn't have the strength to push out really hard right now. I would love to see a little more vision from the Zerg side around the front of the base. He does have the tower, but, you know...
Slacker's gameplay is the heavy Hellion play, though, and turtle into heavy Hellion and push. So where that first Hellion just got killed, I don't know what he's going to follow up with. I feel like the Banshees could be a kind of desperation move here.
I do think it's a little different from his previous follows, but generally he tends to end up going that siege tank, marine, medevac kind of strong play. Oh, he's going to take out that scorecard before it can do too much damage. These two Hellions are going to kill that Queen off before the other one can reinforce. He needs to pull that one Hellion back. Oh, and he loses it. Big loss because Cloak is almost up there. He does.
He'd be far ahead if he had these 4 colonies up.
That's right.
Up and drones up. These are the only things. Banshees, 2 Banshees at this point in the game. What are we? 12 minutes, 13 minutes in the game. It shouldn't be as big of a problem.
But look at the counts. We have no SCVs coming out since the beginning, and he's had some in gas, so that means he's not even fully saturated at his main. Even though he took that expand, it feels like he just forgot to make the SCVs.
I think right now the Zerg players need to punish hard, run in Zerglings, do everything, because there's not much to him. He's got a handful of Marines, and that's a couple tanks, I believe, yeah, and that's about it.
I don't think he'll be able to bust the front without Baneling.
He did pick up his lair, so he gets some units out, or he's going for Baneling, yeah, or
that's right.
Some units out, then I think that would probably be GG.
I would say, given that he got that
As long as he can micro and harass him well enough, that would be.
The banelings are ready to go, but I'm a little,
That's the wrong avenue to go.
I'm a little confused by this trend because you kind of need those banelings a lot of times to give you the time to get that spire up safely. But he has his spire already, so I would have rather seen those 11 banelings turn into a bunch of mutalisks and then harass from the back. Would have prevented him from these banshees as well. That's right. And he forgot to build a spore crawler. He's gonna take a lot of damage from these, taking a little bit of damage from these queens before the cloak. There's the cloak, and he has no way to deal with these right now. He needs to morph something right away, but he hasn't started. He has no way to detect these things. He's gonna take so much damage. There's the spore crawler on the bottom right. That's right. Taking out the spire is gonna give him so much time to deal with a mutalisk if he even bothers to make a spire again, because that spire takes such a long time to build, and he's already built kind of enough mutalisks. Oh, and he's gonna try and bust the front. Those siege tanks at the front is gonna take out so many units, and oh, the banelings are thwarted at the front with minimal damage. Slacker way ahead now, in my opinion. Has the food advantage, taking the second base, and oh, Ohio gives the GG. Those banshees just doing way too much damage and no real way to stop them. That was a good game with Ohio doing a lot of damage with his first push, able to even the odds despite a very big, very late expansion, but finally having to give way because of the lack of detection. Good job by Slacker.
I feel like Ohio had that. You let it go. Should have had him.
And that is what happened. Slacker undefeated for now until our next round of 1v1.